Indigo Park is a new and upcoming mascot horror game that's been making huge waves recently. And normally, as someone who's not a huge fan of that genre as a whole, I would just ignore it and move on to other things. But when I looked at it, something weird happened. I saw something in Indigo Park that I hadn't seen in a really long time in the whole horror game space. I know this is not the type of content you're used to, but hear me out. Because this tiny horror game about a sentient AI raccoon in his long-abandoned amusement park might just turn out to be one of the most important games in recent years. And what I want to do in this video is show you what I found when I played this first chapter, and tell you about my thoughts and feelings about the game. Alright, now buckle in, because this Rambley Express is gonna pick up some steam. Oh, and spoilers, by the way. The game starts and we're met with a recording of, this guy.
For all who journey to this newfound paradise, we welcome you.
He's trying to do his best Walt Disney impression, but I just can't take him seriously when he looks like a bag of potatoes. Then the camera zooms out and oh my goodness, why is the music so intense? Are we going to an abandoned theme park or raiding the Arasaka Tower in Cyberpunk? But anyway, this is what we get from this epic gamer montage. Here's this park, it has a cute raccoon in it, and it means a lot to us. It was suddenly abandoned and the park's been left untouched for years, so we're going to see what happened to it ourselves. Neat! Now with that out of the way, let's get into the actual game. Welcome to baby's first Unreal Engine game. Stock models, stock textures, lack of a cohesive art style, wacky view models, even still wackier lighting. The gang's all here. Thank goodness my system can power through all of this jank at an okay-ish frame rate. I think I should now mention that this is not a finished game, not even close. The game you're seeing on screen is a demo that was made in about a year without any real budget. There's no guarantee that any of this will be in the final product, so take every criticism from me with a handful of salt. After messing around with the engine's quirks in the starting area, I pick up a very obvious collectible and finally start the story. This is where we get to meet hands down the best part of this game.
Hi there, and welcome to Indigo Park! The world's most innovative and engaging family fun experience! Jump into the world of your favorite character!
You don't need a college degree to understand why this game suddenly exploded in popularity. I can tell that above all else, this is what its creators wanted to showcase. So did they nail it? Oh yes. Yes they did. Rambley is, without any exaggeration, done almost perfectly. His design is expressive and memorable, and his writing is amazing.
I don't seem to have your face in our guest list. Is this your first time here at the park, or did you just get plastic surgery?
For being all digital, he's probably the most real out of any mascot horror character we've seen over the past decade. All of it is backed up by voice acting that's just chef's kiss.
Congratulations! I'm Rambley the Raccoon, and it's my job to make sure your experience here at Indigo Park is the most fun it can be.
I was told that Rambley was this actor's first actual gig, and with that in mind, he absolutely killed it. Animation and design is one thing, but a performance that feels so authentic is something else entirely. This guy sells each line with so much emotion, and he always keeps this balance of being all bubbly and approachable while still keeping us wondering if he's actually on our side. It gets even better when he sings. He takes some really impressive notes in the credits. But we'll get there when we get there. There's the rest of chapter 1 to go through, so let's get back on track. Oh, I get it! We still have to get inside the park, so let's open those big gates we saw at the start. Rambley gets our face scan to give us access.
Hi, I'm Rambley the Raccoon, and it's my job to make sure your experience here at Indigo Park is registered. Let me just get a good look at you.
Oh hey, the computer webcam lights up when he says it. That's a nice touch. We get up, and the gate's still locked.
What's the holdup? The gate is open. Head on into the entryway. Hold on. My mistake. The gate is not open.
This is where we get introduced to one of the gameplay loops. See broken thing, find thing, insert thing, pull the lever. Nothing special, but it gets the job done. Though I have to say, our character is jacked. Look at those forearms! Now that we did that, we can finally enter the park. And oh look, it's a normal theme park. Yeah, I noticed that it's a huge problem with mascot horror games in general. The locations usually make absolutely zero sense. They're too big, too detailed, but they lack the basic infrastructure to feel real. This place, by contrast, feels more grounded in reality. As you'll see in a bit, for the most part, it all makes sense. We go left to the registration desk. The merch inside the building looks a bit too good for the models to not later be used for actual merch. Get our shiny cartoony wristband that looks really goofy on our super realistic arm, and make our way out.
Uh-oh, the door mysteriously locked.
Or not. This is our game mechanic number 2. The bracelet Rambley gave us can open doors that were previously locked. That's the idea, at least. All it actually does is let you push these buttons, and the first one is off center. Don't worry, we'll see plenty more stuff like this as we go along. We get past the gates and look, that's the Potato Man from the intro. I don't mean to be rude, but I think he didn't appreciate what I said earlier. Walk past the food trolley into the entry arch, and we're greeted with a fade to black and a strange noise. Welp, looks like we're stuck here now. Nowhere to go but forward, but not before first taking a quick trip to the bathroom. Priorities. This is where we get to go to the first attraction of the park.
Pardon our dust, buddy. Looks like the park is going through some renovations. For the inconvenience, your Rambley Tuesday discount will be 3% off. Why not celebrate this great deal with a ride on my railroad? To test your sleuthing skills, I'll let you find this one all by yourself.
I have to say, I really like the layout of this place. I've been to a theme park recently, and this is an excellent replica of a waiting room for our ride. The developers were very clever with pacing out the exploration, and the screens on the ceiling that would normally tell you about how long is the wait for the ride are instead used by Rambley to deliver his best line in the whole game.
Your facial data suggests you may be a bit older than the target audience for this ride, but it's one of my favorites. Do you know why Rambley the raccoon loves Rambley's railroad? Because I like trains.
If it wasn't obvious before, I really like Rambley. After a bit of walking, I realized that there's absolutely no point in turning off the flashlight ever. If you're going to include the feature, at least make sure we get to use it. Chekhov's gun and all that. And here's my favorite part of the game. See Rambley's statue over there? Something about it seems off, right? Take a closer look. See his tail? It's not where it really should be. You can see from the knot on his scarf where his spine is, so that means his tail is stuck to his right butt cheek. But we can't spend all day staring at his butt, so let's move along. The train is here, and I almost miss it because it gets triggered by me jumping onto the cart. But I quickly get in my seat and our ride begins. This entire train section is pretty great. It's a very natural way to introduce the setting and the characters. The music that plays is also great. And we're always accompanied by Rambley, who's quickly becoming one of my favorite characters in any game. His voice actor really deserves all of the love he's been getting for this role. We get to meet the rest of the cast. There's Molly, a bird who likes flying and crashing planes.
I'm not crashing, Rambley. I'm barnstorming.
Yeah, sorry, she likes barnstorming. Then there's Finley. He's a water dragon, and let me be frank here. The voice acting has been great up until this point, but this feels like a miss.
You've known me for 100 years, Rambley.
I can't shake the sense that his voice just doesn't fit his design. I know he's revealed to be way bigger later, but then why not make the cardboard cutout bigger to match? I don't know, but he still manages to drop this bombshell of a line.
How about you come into it instead? My ride, Oceanic Odyssey.
The next room is where things get interesting. Every other set before now has been in relatively good shape, but this one is completely wrecked. This is also where the ride breaks and Rambley is stuck in it, and it's our job to fix it. We get no character introduction, but we do get a hint with a broken cardboard cutout of this skunk lady. We walk past this door that clips through a thick wire and... Find broken machine, find cogs, insert cogs, it turns on, and we go back to the train. Up next is...
Hey there, Lloyd.
Yeah, him. He's fine, his performance is good, too.
Do not shame me with that common folk name. I am the proud, the prestigious, the professional Lloydfoot L. Lion.
It's really interesting that Rambley has some serious beef with Lloyd. He doesn't elaborate on it further, but it's definitely something worth paying attention to. All good things eventually come to an end, this train ride being no exception. We fade to black to get up and leave the ride, walk past another button that's off-center, and we're met by Rambley.
So, what do you think? Pretty fun, right? Now you know all about my friends and Lloyd. So, where do you want to go?
Wait a minute, what is that thing? Is there something following us? Well, it's best we get out of here then. Like in any park, of course there's a souvenir shop at the end of the ride to get those compulsive sales going. By the way, the official Rambley plushie is currently available for purchase. I'll post a link in the description if you want to grab one. We step outside into the main atrium of the park. The first thing that catches my attention is the moon. It was glowing just fine at the start, but I guess it decided to go on a break this time around. I don't judge. There's a statue of Rambley surrounded by a fountain. It uses the exact same 3D model as last time, so after a quick butt check just to make sure, yup, the tail's misaligned here too. For being a mishmash of Unreal Engine assets, this place is really atmospheric. That's probably thanks to the great sound design and the bits of stylization the devs introduced to it. I walk over to Café de Raton Laveur, and after checking the weirdly normal prices on the menu, I notice something even weirder. Some of the food is fresh, while the rest is moldy. Huh. I take a moment to appreciate how floppy the arm model is before moving along. Also, if you shake the camera too hard, the shoulder dislocates from your body.
Hey, buddy, come over here. This here's an information kiosk. If there's anything around the park you want to ask me about, just stop by here and I'll ramble on about it.
Remember the collectibles I mentioned at the start of the video? This is where they come into play. You can show Rambley what you found to get his opinion on things and learn some extra information about the park. A nice way to track your progress and an obvious incentive to be on the lookout for these. Rambley's commentary is insightful as always. For me, it's a way to enjoy some more time with Rambley, which is always a plus. Though when he talks about his own plushie, he cuts off a bit too soon.
Congratulations! You found me! Don't I look adorable?
Moving forward, since it's the most obvious direction to go in, we make our way to Jetstream Junction. I almost forgot to mention it, but that objective thingy, from what I checked, there is no way to find it anywhere after that pop-up. But it's pretty clear what we need to do, so it's not a big deal. The gates are locked and we need to go to Lloyd's Theater to get the keys. Alright, sure. Wait a minute, I got multiple questions regarding this bit. Why is Lloyd 2 polygons? Better yet, why is he a feral lion? Wasn't he supposed to be a mascot type character? I quickly forget about these questions when I realize I can surf on these chairs. And then this happens. We get behind the stage and Rambley gives us a fair warning.
Hey, buddy, I've got eyes all over the park, but I can't see anything behind the stage. If you're going back there, be careful. Your Criticov is not yet able to resuscitate you.
I'm sorry, buddy, but there's a piano to the left and I'm gonna use my floppy arm to play it. It's beautiful. The first thing we see upon entering the backstage warehouse is a security camera, and it's definitely following us. Didn't Rambley say he can't see us back there just a minute ago? Looks like either he lied or there's someone else watching us. Speaking of which... we go further in through very claustrophobic tunnels. This is where we also get a better look at Lloyd. He's definitely seen better days. Wait a minute, is that a Lloyd statue? Just like the one of Rambley we saw before the railroad? Huh, now I see why Rambley's so upset at him. Looks like he was supposed to be the main mascot for the park. Lloyd is a lion, and lions have tails, so based on what we saw with Rambley, Lloyd also needs to get the now trademarked butt check. Oh look, his tail is perfectly fine! Why does Lloyd get a properly aligned tail when Rambley has to deal with being right cheek wonder? He can't keep getting away with it! We grab the keys and make our way out of here. Yet again, the wristband scanner is off center. I guess I should just deal with it by now. We do the scan and... just happened? I guess something in our wristband scared him off? Also, why is he completely feral? Also, this freaking lion just ran straight through this brick wall. I tried to follow along, but unlike him, I'm not a wizard, so I'm straight out of luck. With that disappointing realization out of the way, there's nothing left to do but go to Jetstream Junction. Right before I enter it, I continue wondering if magic actually exists in this universe. This watchtower has a flag, but there's no pole holding it, so it just levitates over the tower. Get to the gate, open the lock with a key, and in we go.
Say, why don't you check out Molly's rooftop races? It's not far from here, and it's a great warm-up before we get into the bigger rides. Just take it up at Molly's landing pad.
Thanks for the tip, Rambley, but I'm way too distracted by the floor suddenly popping in and out of existence. If this isn't magic, then this place is straight up cursed. I also look up and notice exactly where the skybox converges into one spot. At Jetstream Junction, there's a couple of things. There's a vending machine with themed drinks, a plane we can walk right through, and a little restaurant with screens that show you everything but the actual prices. That detail might be a bit too real. I almost go upstairs as Rambley told me, but then I realize that Molly is a bird, birds have tails, so she also needs a butt check trademark. After a quick glance, it seems her tail is also fine. So it's just our boy Rambley who needs his tail fixed. Justice for right cheek wonder. So we make it upstairs and yeah, the ride's all busted, what did you expect? But Rambley gives us a new direction.
Say, why don't you check out Molly's landing pad? It's not far from here, and it's a great cool down after that exhilarating ride. Just take a down from Molly's rooftop races.
But before we go there, we need to make a quick detour to the right. Here we find an arcade machine. It looks like we can play it, so after appreciating how the selection highlight makes it almost impossible to look at directly, we boot it up. Oh hey, a classic platformer! I definitely haven't played one of those in a while. For what it's worth, it's great. It looks nice, even with the Minecraft grass textures, and the music is wonderful. Though, it would be a lot better if it wasn't so damn loud, jeez! What's interesting is that here of all places, the controls are amazing. Rambley's movement is snappy, which is the opposite of how floaty and weird they are in the actual game. Also, this section is the most jank-free. Unless you overdo your jump and land right here, then it does this. Ah, the sweet memories. It almost feels like deja vu. At the end of the level, we meet Molly and finally get the introduction for the character who's missing in the train ride. This is Salem, I'll call her Sally, and she's playing the role of the antagonist to Rambley. We see that she has the ability to corrupt other characters, and this repeating animation doesn't seem to be intentional. Oh wow, we actually get a boss fight. That's nice. She's not that difficult, just dodge and jump on her head until we win. That is, if she stops getting off screen. Where are you going? We deal enough damage and... That was definitely something. Also, I just noticed it, but I don't think that's how you spell collectible. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Alright, now we can actually go to the landing pad as Rambley told us to. Welcome to the 7-year-old me's dream. It's a gigantic playground maze, and I'm immediately greeted with a genuine bop. Maybe I spent a little too long enjoying myself here. So anyway, this is clearly the big puzzle of the game. Find a shape and turn the right colored cube to match it. There's even a small tutorial for it. How sweet. This one is a star, so... I can still jam out to this and you can't stop me, game! A tunnel opens, so let's get exploring. And it looks like we're not the only ones enjoying ourselves here. Well, this thing went right, so it makes sense to go forward. Oh, never freaking mind! Wait, did it just drip blood? I want to look at it, but as soon as I step closer, it disappears. I then find a yellow circle. Great, 3 more to go. The only other way to go is right, so that's exactly what I do. Alright, that was pretty sick. There's one of those round plastic windows, but it's so transparent you can only see it if you shine a light at it. And even then, it's not that consistent. After seeing a green triangle, we get more bounce pads. I try to 360 no-scope my way to the top levels, fail miserably, and just do it normally instead. I'm ashamed of myself too. And here is the blue star. After seeing the bird again and really not wanting to go further into this tunnel, I man up and press on. The only way to go from here is down and okay, this looks a bit too high to be a safe fall.
Major fracture detected.
I make the fall just fine because I have ankles of steel. Now I'm presented with a difficult choice. Take the stairs down like a chump or use the slide. Well, I'm no chump, so I take the slide and... oh... Look, I get it, you wanted to emulate a ball pit, but this is vile. It's a flat texture of a ball pit with a bunch of low-res orbs that very obviously clip through each other on top of it. Yikes. I never caught which shape the red one was supposed to be, so I set everything else to where it should be and then just rotate the red cube until the door opens. We enter a really weird room. The grounded approach to level design decided to take a backseat here. The tunnel to the left is blocked, so we go right to see if something happens. Nope. This is Molly, and she's really not happy that we're here, so we have to run. Molly is deceptively fast, so we have to run for it if we want to make it to the end. That's easier said than done, however. Not because there's any jank or it's too hard, but because I can't focus on running away from something when I'm headbanging this much. When you inevitably die because you took too long jamming out to the chase music, she just kind of pecks you and you fall over. Molly can repeat words that she heard. Don't be fooled. What? Why do you even tell me that? This is never used in any gameplay, so I guess it's just trivia? Once again, just like with a flashlight, if you introduce a feature, make sure it's actually used. Maybe have her try to mimic Rambley's tone to fool us into going the wrong way. Something, anything. As you can probably tell, this section really suffers from the disparity between how intense the music is and what actually happens on screen. The music is great, once again, but it's hard to take this chase seriously when Molly awkwardly waddles towards us. Bonus points for making her fly up to a platform above us though. Another issue with this sequence is her speed. Sometimes you can get so far ahead that you actually have to wait for her to catch up. And sometimes she's so fast, you can't even turn around for a second without her immediately catching you. After the scout and mouse with Molly, Rambley steps in to save us.
Ah, there you are, buddy. Wait, hold on. This room's staff only. Come on in, new staff.
Oh, shit.
Welcome to the Rambley's Wranglers registered room. Here we have plenty of amenities and... Okay.
This is where the game hooked me. The realization Rambley's having about everything that's happening around him sold me on the idea this demo has been trying to showcase. This is what I meant when I said Rambley feels real. He's been keeping up a facade this whole time, in hopes that the park is only a little worse for wear. But this is his breaking point, and he doesn't hesitate to come clean and apologize.
I just was so excited to see a visitor, and I wanted to be sure you were given the best experience possible. But I was confined to the entrance for so long, I didn't realize just how much disrepair the park has fallen into. Wasting all of your fun time. Sorry for the inconvenience.
This is the most natural way to show that he's actually our ally in this adventure, without the entire plot bending over backwards to make it happen. And I really appreciate how the actor sells that gradual deconstruction of his normally bubbly attitude. But it's not all bad. Rambley sees something else in us. He sees hope.
But, I have an idea. I have access to the repair documentation in my database. I just can't execute most tasks without authorization from a human user. You must have come here because the park matters to you too, right? Would you be willing to help me restore the park? I can see in your facial tracking data that you aren't opposed to this. Ooh, I'm so excited. Let's get this place back in business.
But now I'm left wondering, what are these mascots? Whatever this thing is, it's not a robot or a human. What the hell are these meat puppets? How did this even come to be? Did someone make them? Are they some kind of failed experiment? Is this why the park is shut down? This one scene brings so many questions with it, and I hope we get our answers later in the story. There's no point in droning on about this any further, so let's leave this failed Heinz commercial. The moment I leave this room, I notice some clipping textures in the walls, and oh, come on! First we had off-centered buttons, and now entire doorways are off-centered too? Walking further ahead, we get more clipping walls, and even the lights aren't centered either. Then we get another mystery to wonder about for now.
Uh-oh, that Rambley's Wrangler's room is only accessible by Royal Wranglers. Maybe one day you'll grow up big and strong enough to enter it. But for now, don't.
We get out of the landing zone through the security office, and I'm caught off guard by them all using gaming mice right next to regular old office keyboards. There's also a bunch of power cables and sockets that aren't actually powering anything in this corner. Unless this potted plant isn't what it appears to be. You can't hide your secrets away from me! We finally make it outside, and I'm immediately distracted by this brick wall that isn't actually a brick wall. It's a single color concrete wall with a brick mesh over it, and it becomes very obvious when you look at it from certain angles. We're greeted with another information kiosk to check on our progress with the collectibles. And here, I noticed another oversight. Normally, this kiosk has a collision mesh, but when you get Rambley to talk about something, you can go right through it. I guess I am a wizard after all. With one of the collectibles, we easily get the best voice acting of all time.
Whoa, where'd you find that? I've never seen anyone wearing one. Pretty snazzy. Ooh, looks like there's an audio recording tag with costume in my database I've never noticed before. Let's listen!
Hey, Jackson, you hear about the new mascots?
Yeah, think it'll put us out of a job?
I think so. Old sport. And right after we got this damn raccoon costume.
Man, screw this place. I said we get our asses out of here and go straight to Vegas.
Aw, come on! They didn't even document the Indigo inventory ID for the costume! I was really looking forward to that. What a useless recording. Deleted.
Of course, even though he said he deleted the recording, choosing the raccoon ahead will trigger it to play again. In full. I'd like to see Rambley having different dialogue with repeat interactions. It would be a great way to put in some Easter eggs and extra jokes rather than have him repeat himself over and over again. Going back to the beef Rambley had with Lloyd, showing him the retro Lloyd plush makes him really upset.
I don't get why we even have those. And why do they only make one of Lloyd? Is it because he's the loudest? I can be loud too! Where's my limited edition throwback plush? Where's Molly's? Where's Finley's? Give this mistake to a child and they'll cry.
Exploring the location a bit further, there's a bench I can jump on that conveniently lets me see out of bounds from the stone wall.
Wow, you made it to Oceanic Odyssey. You're doing a great job, Rookie Wrangler. You'll find a potpourri of porpoises, pickerels, and perches as far as the eye can see. But please don't tap the glass. You never really know what lies beneath the surface.
So that was Indigo Park Chapter 1. It's really hard for me to call this a game in the normal sense. This is a proof of concept demo, and that's painfully obvious from, well, everything I've pointed out throughout my video. And it's understandable. The people behind this are new to the whole game making scene, and they put this together in about a year. They had to make a lot of compromises to make it all happen, but in the end, I loved it. You see, while this game is very rough, I'll say it again, it did what it set out to do flawlessly. Rambley is, once again, easily among my all-time favorite characters now. They did a fantastic job making this raccoon so likable and nuanced. And maybe even more importantly, the game's premise is so unique from the ocean of other mascot horror games that came before it. We get to actually try and salvage a horror location for once, and we also get to develop our relationship with Rambley along the way. I'm a sucker for Titanfall 2 type stories, and Indigo Park does that idea in a way that feels so genuine. I can't help but enjoy every moment I get to see Rambley on screen, and that's saying a lot about the sheer quality of the parts of this game where the creators knew exactly what they were doing. If anything, this fits the main idea of this game perfectly. It shows how creators often imagine this ideal world where all their work turns out exactly how they imagined it. But then they have to face the harsh reality that, no, sometimes, even a lot of the times, what they make won't be exactly what they envisioned. It's the same for Rambley. He desperately wants to see Indigo Park live up to his naive, cartoony view of the world around him. But that's the thing. When he comes to terms with the fact that it's not the case, he doesn't give up. Instead, he keeps trying to at least make it as good as it can be. This is an important message for everyone out there, especially those who struggle with perfectionism. It's okay that something you do doesn't match what you had in mind, and it's totally fine if you share your unfinished work with people, because it will be way more rewarding to see all the feedback to it, rather than keep it all to yourself because you think it's not good enough. Indigo Park took that risk, and I can say it definitely paid off. What this shows is that if Unique Geese and his team get enough time and resources, we might have a potentially incredible game on our hands. With all that said, I'm really happy to see that this game blew up in the way it did. The Steam reviews for it are overwhelmingly positive, and the team is receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars in donations from people who want to see the story through. It means there's plenty more people like me who appreciate what Indigo Park managed to do with so little, and see the true potential in it. Every snarky comment I made about the technical state of this game wasn't me being negative. Quite the opposite, actually. I really care about this game's success, and that makes me pay extra attention to the different things where it could be better. Though, now that I mentioned it, I have to say this with a heavy heart. Everything I've shown you, this entire first chapter, it needs nothing short of a complete overhaul. When you put out the finished product, it cannot look and play like this. Yes, that means every asset, every section, everything has to be remade from scratch for it to work. And if it means the game will be paid when it comes out, then so be it. I'll be more than happy to pay for this game to support this team. Something tells me the devs already know they have a lot of work to do though. So I hope Unique Geese and the rest of the team hear this message loud and clear. I love this game, and I only wish that you realize your vision with Indigo Park to its fullest. Wow, this video was a wild ride to make. I honestly can't believe that this is what's gonna mark my return to YouTube, but life's just full of surprises like this, I guess. I loved working on this video, and I especially enjoyed my time with the Indigo Park community. The people I hung out with were all great, and this video would not have existed without them, so thank you guys for making all of this happen. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to do all the usual stuff, like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, but only if you really want to. Also, I have a very important announcement to make. If you want to take your support of my channel even further, my Patreon is now officially open! For as little as $1 a month, you'll get some extra behind the scenes stuff and you'll be able to help shape my content by suggesting me video ideas. Oh, and of course, your lovely names will all be featured in the end credits for each video that isn't like a 20-second skit. But yeah, now I said everything I wanted to say. I really hope this game reaches its full potential and becomes a huge success. And if, or actually when it does, I hope to see all of you
At Indigo Park, there is a stark contrast to everything I know this place should be. But out of the dark, you've given a spark of sunshine to this kingdom's faithful devotee. At Indigo Park, more than my remarks are mysteries. Even I don't know what we might find. But fight through the dark, and I'll be your spark of sunshine to get you out of any bind. Till all my old friends are united again, and I won't feel so left behind. let you go. See you next time, buddy. Please?